Hey there everybody, Drake Sriracha here. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to add monthly recurring revenue by selling AI agents to your existing customers or any AI solution in general. For those of you who don't know me, I have another YouTube channel with about 300,000 subscribers where I teach people how to build AI agents from the ground up. But today, I am specifically talking to those of you who run an agency, those of you who already have clients. Maybe you're on WordPress, maybe you have an existing AI automation agency or any agency in general. Any agency where you have clients that you want to sell AI agents as an add-on to. Those are the people that I'm speaking to today. So if you're ready, I'm excited. Let's get into it. So how do you add monthly recurring revenue selling AI agents to existing clients? Well, first you need to reframe your mind, okay? I see it all the time. People get so wrapped up in the AI side of things that they forget what they're actually selling. So what you need to realize is you are not selling AI agents. You are selling solutions to problems. You're not selling AI automations. Again, you're selling a solution to a problem. AI agents provide you, as the agency owner, an easier way to deliver those solutions to your clients. Now, the word AI is hot right now, probably the hottest keyword in the 21st century. So use it in your marketing because every business owner feels that guilt brought upon them. Unfortunately, even myself, as somebody who works in AI all day, you start to feel this guilt like I should be using AI more. Like I've seen how it can help other people. I'm not using it enough myself. So you can use it in your marketing in that way. But if you start talking about the complexities of the workflows or the agents that you can provide, then they'll opt out before you can even show them what it can do. So let's play a little game. I want you to decide what sounds better. Option number one, we'll build you an AI agent using agentic workflows and LLM chains that automatically qualifies leads, integrates with your CRM via webhooks, and uses prompt engineering to decide when to respond or escalate. Sounds pretty sweet, especially if you've built an AI agent before, but not the best thing to tell a roofing business that you already provide website services for. So does that sound better or does this sound better? If you came to the business owner wanting to sell them an AI agent. Right now, leads are sitting in your inbox for hours. We'll make sure every lead gets a reply in under 2 minutes, asks the right qualifying questions automatically, and only notifies your team when the lead is worth their time. Now, I know which one you think is better. It's definitely the second one, because if you're selling to somebody who has no idea what you're talking about, they're going to completely blank out. Their mind is instantly going to go, that sounds like a headache to manage. This sounds a little too complex. I wonder how much this is going to cost me. Then that little reframe alone, the reframe from AI agent to selling solutions instead, is going to start earning you more money. So let's dive into the steps in order to implement this and in order to start adding monthly recurring revenue to your bottom line from your existing client base. So the first most important thing to think about is the impact to support ratio. How much is the business getting impacted in a positive way to how much support are you putting in to get that result for the business? More support does not equal more money. So real quick, I'm going to draw out for you a decision matrix that shows you what type of agents you should be building with the impact to support ratio being in the perfect spot where you can earn money, the business is getting value, and you're not having a support nightmare. And I'm furthermore going to be giving you some agent examples that you can provide businesses that are really easy to set up, especially if you've already built agents before, and also don't have a bunch of support along with them because they're very standardized processes. So I'll draw that out for you real quick. Over here on the left-hand side, we have business impact. And on the bottom, we have support amount. So I'll just write a little BI for business impact. Does it impact the business a lot or does it impact the business a little? And down here, we have support required from you. Do you have little support or do you have a lot of support? These are the sectors that you want to be looking at when trying to add monthly recurring revenue with an AI agent as an upsell. So I'm going to break this up into 4 quadrants. We have these 4 sections right here that most AI agents fall into. The first section we got is the commodity section. This section you don't want to be in. There's only really one good section that you should be in out of all 4 of these, and I'm going to show you that. But right here is the commodity section. So this is something that doesn't provide the business value and it doesn't really cause much support, but there's no point in adding it if you're not going to make much money from it. The business isn't getting impacted in any positive way. Like it doesn't really matter if you don't have any support, if the business isn't getting value and if you're not making money. So these are things like prompts like you don't really need to give a business prompts. They can just type that in on their own, and there's no reason to charge monthly for something like a prompt template. These are things that have no leverage, that give you no higher perceived value. So you don't really want to be in the commodity section because you don't earn money. So you can wave your money goodbye. And they're very replaceable, and the business owner doesn't really need you to do that. You're not helping the business. It doesn't really matter if you don't have support. You're not making money. So kind of just a bad section to be in overall. The next section, which in my opinion is the worst, is the time sinking category. So over here are the things that don't impact the business very much. They don't really generate more money, save more time for the business, but they cost you a lot of time because you're constantly having to manage it. And yes, you could be getting paid for this, but it's not going to be very much. And if it is a lot up front, they're not going to be paying you for very long on a monthly retainer because they're going to see this isn't really impacting the business very much. So this section over here in the red is what I like to call the time sinkers. Even if you do make money in this section, you're going to be spending a majority of your time handling support and trying to get the agent to work. This would be things like scraping sketchy websites, trying to set up LinkedIn bots that are auto-responding to people, or Instagram bots that are auto-responding with people. You're going to have to deal with terms of service. If the client account gets banned, they're going to blame it on you and your little AI solution you tried providing. So not a good one to be in. The next section isn't bad if this is the route you want to go, but this is a very high maintenance section. The good news about this section though is it's providing the business value. Remember, over here is our value. So if it's providing the business value, but it's also costing you a lot of support, that's something you have to decide if it's what you want or not. These are high maintenance things that are also high leverage. So the good news about this section is you can charge a premium, often high one-time builds and decently high monthly retainers, but you can't manage as many clients at once. And you're basically going to be a support person for this agent, and it's going to be a full-on service. This is like custom CRM integration that is changing all the time. Start getting into the voice agent category a little bit over here if you're trying to send outbound calls or receive inbound calls and set up sales agents that are always changing. These things are going to allow you to charge more, but they're also going to require more support. So this is called the high maintenance zone. And remember, high maintenance zone isn't all that bad. You're just going to be providing more support for more money, but you're not going to be able to scale more effortlessly because you're going to be so focused on one or two clients that take up all of your time. So what's the best zone to be in? Well, that's this top left zone where the business is getting an insane amount of value for the cost and they're getting good results. And you're not spending all of your hours on support because you know the agent is going to work and you set up guardrails for the edge cases that do come up. This is the money zone, or in other words, I like to call it the hot zone. Here is where you can charge $200 to $500 a month. The agent runs seamlessly. You don't got to think about it, and you start templatizing your agent so you can sell it to multiple people because it fits multiple use cases or multiple companies. Let me quickly run you through some example agents within each category so you know what to go towards and what to stay away from. So first, let's take a look at some hot zone agents. These are things that you could build out and just give to businesses, and the business is going to have a very high impact because they're going to be making money, saving time, or both. So agent type number one is client onboard sequences. If you can handle onboarding for a business, whether that's onboarding employees or new clients to the service, that's huge because that can sometimes take days, if not sometimes weeks. The next one, lead qualification plus response. Every business pretty much has a form where leads come in, or a system for leads coming in. And a lot of the times businesses have so many problems with responding to those leads because they're actually out there performing the service. So you could provide a lead qualification and quick response agent that does everything for them because leads are very easy to qualify because it's a set form and a set structure and you can just score it very easily and really craft the archetype of person that business wants. And then you can just easily send an email with N8N. Or make.com or Zappy or any other custom API. The next hot zone agent is quote and proposal follow-up. Now, I'm serious. There are so many companies out there that say, hey, we can give you a free quote, but then they never respond back after you try to fill out a request. And I know you probably have clients like that as well that deal with the same thing. Construction companies, HVAC, roofing, all of these companies that require quotes and proposals, super easy add-on just to say, hey, we'll cover and we'll estimate all the quotes for you based on the data that you want us to, and we'll auto send responses so that you can be the first one to these clients. The last hot zone agent is a review request agent. So you can trigger X amount of days after a service, send a request, follow up. This is massive ROI since reviews equal revenue for a business, especially when you're doing things like Google reviews. So if you have a review request automation, you can easily send that to the company's clients and increase their revenue via good reviews. We're going to quickly tap through the other categories just so you know generally what to stay away from. I won't explain them as much as I did the hot zone ones. These are just 4 examples of things that you could templatize and sell over and over and over and over that would have very little support, because these are all usually static things with AI integrated that are already happening in a business. These are high maintenance things, so they're valuable but demanding. You could charge like a 3 to 5x premium, but you're going to be a support person basically for this company and for this agent that you're providing. So like custom CRM integrations. Every client's Salesforce/HubSpot is configured differently. So that would be, very interesting to try to sell to multiple people because it would be a custom integration every time. And also people might fail to see the value early on. AI SDR and outbound agents. Like I was telling you earlier, very difficult. Multi-system data sync. So if you're trying to keep 3+ systems in sync, there's conflict resolution hell. One API change cascades everywhere. Finally, full customer success automations. Just very high maintenance. If you're trying to predict churn, you're trying to health score everything, this is going to be like you've got to get ingrained with the company before you do something like that. And you've got to basically learn all their processes and everything that goes along with them. So these are some good automations and agents you could build for a company, but just be prepared for massive support, probably a 3 to 4 month process of getting everything integrated, getting all their accounts hooked up to your system. Kind of difficult. Here are the commodity type things: easy but low value system prompt templates, basic FAQ chatbots, meeting/transcript summary. There's already tools out there that can do a lot of these things that a business could pay $10 a month for and have it complete. And then content repurposing. Content repurposing could be in the hot zone one if you do it right, and if you actually provide like newly generated content with details about the company that's getting them new leads. But general content repurposing, like turn my blog into tweets, unless you're doing it right and you have a really good system that's learning from itself and providing analytics and the feedback, then nah, I wouldn't do content repurposing. Content creation, yes, though. Here are the time sink ones: high effort, very low reward. Web scraping protected sites. So anti-bot measures evolve weekly. CAPTCHAs, rate limits, IP bans. You're in an arms race and you will lose. LinkedIn/social DM automation. A headache. There's tools out there that do it, and I would just recommend sending them to one of their tools. If they want to try automating DMs and sales through that, I'd recommend just using an existing tool out there rather than you being the middleman. I promise that'll save you a lot of time. PDF extraction, this could be a good one, but it's hard to package up as a template and resell because not every company is going to need it. It's a really good automation, but it's inconsistent. So use this one wisely. This one, PDF extraction, could be in the high maintenance category, but just want you to be aware that generally very difficult to resell for a low ticket, easy, no support thing. And then legacy system integrations. If you're trying to get into a headache, try integrating with legacy systems with AI and getting all that company data and keeping it secure. Not fun, don't recommend. So here were some agents and some ideas. I'll quickly scroll through here so you can pause the screen and read why it's in each category. But that's a general idea of what type of agents to build when selling them to your clients. So keep impact to support ratio in your mind. You don't want to be providing a load of support for very little business impact, because even if you're making money, you're spending your time, which the goal of this is to spend less time and make more money. So let's go down to the next section, which is enhancement over replacement. Now, I see this too often where people try to replace operations in a business, which backfires because business owners like having somewhat control over the way that their operations are running. So most of the time you're selling something to someone who already has something in place that is already running, but could just be enhanced with AI. So that's why I say enhance over replace. When you start using that terminology, instead of, I'm just going to replace your whole content department. No, say I'm going to enhance your content department. It's a lot softer, it's a lot better, and then you don't just say it, but you actually provide that as a service too. And I'll show you what I mean in a second. So when you try and reinvent the wheel and create something new, or you try to replace an operation within the business, it usually doesn't work well. AI should be suggestive, and you should allow human judgment, remember that word, human judgment, at parts that require human judgment. So not unnecessarily wasting the business owner's time, but provide it when it's necessary. And people love something I like to call automated control. I know I do. I like when things are automated. I still like having my hand in it. I don't want AI to be running in the background, posting things for me, doing all this stuff for me while I'm sleeping, unless I have a little bit of control over what's happening. So it's great for people like me, people who know how to build automations. I have a lot of control that way. If I'm bringing this to somebody who doesn't know how to build agents and automations, they might want to have a little bit more control over the process. So here's an example. Instead of someone's marketing team spending hours on a single blog post and being inconsistent about writing blogs, you could notify their phone that it's time to create a blog post on a schedule. So this would be an example of enhancing a department that's lacking in productivity. A lot of people's marketing teams are like an office assistant who tries writing blog posts in their spare time, but it doesn't really work. So this is a great one for getting new customers, outperforming competitors, and it's very resellable. A quick content automation that gets the business SEO, GEO optimized. And I get it. Optimizations at the end of both of those words, but you know what I mean. But let me show you an example of what that would look like. So I like to do something where I would send a push notification to important people in the department, whether that's the CEO who's like a solopreneur and they just want to run things by themselves and they want like an agentic dashboard of agents where they can just get each department, like a marketing genius for $300 a month, financial genius for $500 a month. There are those people out there who want to just run operations alone. So I would send a push notification to the phone of whoever's running that department and then surface a human in the loop form for when that push notification is clicked on. So as you can see, this one just says, what should we blog about today? The blogging agent needs your input on a blogging topic. Estimated time, 30 seconds. As a business owner, you love seeing that. So this is something you could sell very easily. And then once they click the notification, this is something you could set up on their device and walk them through in a quick meeting to save them hours in the future. But then you have a human in the loop thing where you can have them type in a topic, an audience segment, a goal, and a rough word count for that blog post. And then all they'll have to do is hit the generate blog button, for instance. This would be an example of human in the loop. Now you have the human actually providing their judgment when it's necessary. You could even set up an approval where they have to approve or disapprove a blog post as well, or revise it. So a good way to enhance a department or a company just by providing simple push notifications to easy human in the loop that runs automations in the background. You want to make it feel like a very custom, easy to use experience. So remember, enhance, do not replace, don't use it in your marketing either. When you use that AI enhanced keyword, it's a lot better than AI replace keyword. It has a very negative connotation attached. Step number 3 in order to build MRR with selling agents to clients is you need a repeatable deployment process and a way to easily distribute your AI agents at scale to your customers. You'll get into a support nightmare, once again, if you have 1,000 different ways that you're deploying agents. You should just have a templated process you can implement, rinse, repeat. Upload the company's data where you need it, same automation, same agentic workflow running, same chatbot, same model, same everything. Manage costs how you want to, but have an easy way to give your clients these agents that is unified. So if you want to scale your MRR by delivering agents to clients, you should focus on creating these 3 things. I want you to create a consistent, repeatable, and predictable process. Isn't it wonderful when things are predictable, when they work the way you think they will, when you know where to go to solve a problem? I think it is. So here are 3 principles that you can focus on in order to have that repeatable deployment process. Build AI agents you can sell to more than one client. You don't really want to start getting custom. If you want an easy MRR add-on, you're already managing clients, you already got all these things working for you, make sure you build an agent that can sell to more than one of them. So you don't spend hours building it and then it only works for kind of one company. And then they just think that you're going to be their AI support person all day long. So build something that's easy to templatize for other clients. Step number 2, have an easy, consistent way you deliver these agents to clients. I kind of already touched on that. You want a system, an app like Lerty that you can just connect your agent to and share it in seconds. That's all you need. And then 3, create a difficult to fail environment. Now this one's kind of overlooked, but you want it to be so difficult for your agent to fail, capturing every edge case, that you don't really have to do any support. And if there is support needed, you can make a self-healing agent, an auto-healing agent. And with a difficult to fail environment comes something that's secure and stable for delivering agents to clients as well. You don't want to hook them up with tools that you don't really know if it's going to work, which is also another reason we built Lerty, was to be able to deliver agents to people in a very user-friendly way. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. I hope you can start adding some MRR to your bottom line from existing clients as an easy add-on. And remember these principles that I shared with you today as you're going about this. If you want to use Lerty to deploy your AI agents at scale to these customers, I recommend checking out lerty.ai using the link in the description below. We provide a very easy to deliver solution so that you can just plug in your agent, share it with a client, collect your recurring revenue as needed. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.